team, today what we're going to be doing is you're going to be learning how to build out your team's performance roadmap. All right. So we're going to provide it's a corporation of understanding what do we need to do from the very start before we hire someone, all the way through to actually getting them into the team, onboarding them, performance managing them. And then we're going to, what comes into this is the staff member leveling system or team member leveling system. And how do we have better conversations around that? Now, for me, the journey to, being able to understand how to get the most out of my team, I was always very passionate about wanting my team to perform at their best. I always, in my heart, had the best intentions for them. And I was thinking by me going to them and having a nice conversation around, hey man, I just want to let you know this is the way we do it. This will be a better way for our customers. Here's from my knowledge, this is what I've learned. But then when you do that over and over and over again, they start to go, fuck, every problem I have is associated with Greg. Like, in my mind, Greg is the problem. You know what I mean? And so that's when I'm like, no. Like, it's all good. Like, I'm saying it from a nice place. I'm not upset with you. I just want you to get better. And they're like, oh, why? I'm not good enough. Like, so there's this whole like disruption that happened in the company for so many years. Like I had to figure this out for so long. Who, show of hands, hates having tough conversations with staff? Show of hands. Who loves it? Rory loves it. I know he loves it. He loves it. Fucking do what you're told. So we want to make sure you guys have the tools to make those conversations more proactive. Okay, today we're going to go from the very start of what do we need to do in preparation for hiring a staff member. If you're hiring for a new role you might not have yet, or if it's for a tradesperson, for the next tradesperson hire you're going to make, how do we make sure that we've got the right things in place so that when they do come into the team, they're fully absorbing everything. Now, what I did notice, and I said this for a long time, was your team members, when they first come into your team, will be like a sponge. They'll be willing to change. They'll be willing to adapt. Who's experienced that with a new staff member? Who finds like after 6 months, it's harder to like get them to adapt? Show of hands again. Yeah, if that's the case. So it's weird, isn't it? Like, it's like they, once they get comfortable, they feel like, no, this is my role now. I understand my role. I'm not going to change. Right? Who thinks that? Yeah. So what we can do is design it in a way that it's clear to them that they're not at the level that you want them to be. Right? So instead of you telling them they're not at the level you want, in writing, it's very clear that you're not where I expect, or you're not at that level. And that's the tradesperson leveling system we use, but you can do it for every single one. So today we're going to go through that. When I implemented this within our teams, it helped so much. Like, it helped in the way that they understand what's responsible, so that when these conversations came up, the conversation was no longer, I want you to do this instead. And they're like, I didn't know I had to do that. It's, hey, what do you think you went wrong on this job? Oh, this thing. Yeah, because it's all in writing. So it makes it very easy for people to self-assess, right? And that when they can self-assess, they can self-improve. Who would like the staff to self-improve more? Yeah, cool, awesome. And with self-improvement, when they're taking on more responsibility, who would be willing to pay more if they do more? Like, take more off your hands? Yes, awesome. And so that's what we're going to do today. Who's keen? Yes, all right. Here we go. So what we have here is the performance roadmap. So I'm going to start from the start. So from the very start, performance goal setting is having an awareness and an understanding of what is this role for? Why are you hiring someone for this role? And what is the objectives and key results of this role as well? So what competencies will they need to actually achieve this? And as you guys have done with us over the last couple of weeks, we're building position descriptions. So in the position descriptions, we've taken, here's the responsibilities, here's the expectations, here's the competencies I need for you to perform this role well. And so that's why I've been shoving it down your necks about how important position descriptions are. And so that's why we try to figure out the fastest, most effective way for you to build those. And hopefully all of you have those for everyone in your team now, because it only takes as long as we showed you using ChatGPT and AI to help us through that with proper prompting. If you haven't seen those sessions, go back and shoot Anna a message or shoot myself a message. Go back and watch those sessions that you've missed. And remember, the training portal will have everything that you've got and watched in there as well. So once we have these position descriptions, which is this very first step, who are we actually hiring? What impact is it going to have on the business when we have the right people in the right roles? We move to the next step. We get them in. We put them in the role and we establish monitoring systems that provide regular, timely feedback. Now, I think when we do this well, and having something like the leveling system, which we'll talk about in a bit, and we'll just recap on that, it makes it easy for you to have a quick once a month, self-assessment using Jotform or something like that. If you have all of your responsibilities in Jotform where they rate themselves based on exactly what it is that they need to achieve at each level, I think the most important part of this, if you're getting your team to self-assess, and I've talked to a couple of you I can see here today around the starring system, is don't just say rate yourself out of 5, because how many are they going to give themselves? If you just have 1 to 5, that's right, 4 or 5 for some reason. They'll always rate themselves highly because they don't want to think they're doing a bad job, and they probably believe they're doing a great job in their interpretation of what that responsibility is. But when you clearly outline what is a 0, what is a 1, what is a 2, and what does that look like, now they can't get away from saying it how it is, right? So if we get very objective in our, rather than subjective in our answers, here's what a 1 looks like, here's what a 4 looks like, here's what a 5 looks like. Just jumping quickly over here for a real quick second. You can see in productivity, a 1 is, completes all the quotes required at a 90% job labor efficiency. It's very clear, isn't it? Productivity, 100%, 110, 120% plus. And that's job efficiency. That's not overall efficiency of the day. That's just job efficiency. But there's no escaping that as long as they know how to find that out for themselves. So when we get clear, this would be a 4-star system, or just rate yourself a level 1, 2, 3, or 4. They would be able to click that and go, I'm a 120. I know I am. I've recorded everything. I know I'm a 120 plus percentage on the job. So that's an example of being objective in your star rating system, and subjective, which is I think this and they think that. That's going to always end up in a disagreement. So I think get very clear with hard evidence. So make sure that when you're choosing what those are, it's very clear what each level is. Moving forward from there, once we do have a level, let's just say we rate, the team member rates themselves. And this might actually be a good segue before we jump into developing capacity for them to perform. Actually, I'll run through it. So next step is developing capacity to perform, provide professional development opportunities so that the training to enhance performance. So this is where we'd sit them down and would say, once we've done the evaluation, they do their own evaluation, you do your evaluation on the skills, you would average out the 2 answers. So they would say what they wanted, you'd say it where they are, you'd sit down and go, well, here's your averages. So let's work off the averages. They don't have to see your score, and they won't remember exactly what they gave themselves. So if you've got the average of the 2, can you see how that's now a fair assessment? So say if they gave themselves a 5 and you gave them a 2, they end up with a 3, 3.5. And so you can work from there. You can have that conversation. So once we're evaluating these, we can look for performance rewarding them based on where they're sitting as an average. So if we can build their average up to that level 2 or level 3 or level 4, now they're in a position and they've sat there for 6 months. Now they have the option to request a pay rise and to move into that level 4, which comes with they've demonstrated that they've done what it takes to be a level 4. Now, I made a lot of mistakes in this space where someone would come to me and say, "Hey Greg, I've been here for 2 years, I've been here for 3 years. I think I deserve a pay rise." And I'll give them a pay rise and I'll say, "Yeah, okay, man, I'll give you a pay rise, but I want to make sure if I'm going to give you a pay rise, you're doing these things extra," right? And they'll say, "Sweet, yeah, no problem." Can you guess what happened next? Anyone? Unmute. Tell me your fun answer. Nothing. Yeah, something happened for a couple of weeks and then it just went away. They would slowly get back to old habits and I can get away with this because Greg's not looking and I'll get away with doing less. And then they'll go back to old habits. So what we want to do is develop the better habit first, then reward the outcome. You guys following that? So they've got to demonstrate that, hey, look at my habit. I'm able to achieve this month after month after month for 6 months at above average of what I need to be. So that's when you could go to them and say, "You've absolutely killed it. You deserve that. Keep up the good work. Don't fall back to a level 1 or a 2. But they probably won't. The likelihood is when they've demonstrated that they can do it at that level and they're awarded the badge of that after hard work, it's so much sweeter to them and they want to hold that on to that, right? But if you get the medal before, the race, it's like you don't even need to race anymore. You don't have to train. So we're developing the habits by having a good system in place. You guys following this? Who's loving what they're seeing? Awesome. Who's not? Okay, cool. All right, so there's a couple of contextual factors, which means stuff that everyone's going to have in different, based on your company, it's going to be different, right? So there's organizational context and culture, internal and external environment of this. So what you guys deal with in your company is going to be different to every single person. The individual employee's characteristics and preferences and the work type that you do. So if it's service and maintenance versus project, there's different, this will look slightly different for you guys. And you might want to have a slightly different performance management framework and roadmap if you've got 2 divisions. If you've got a service maintenance, it needs its own thing because you're going to need a different type of person for services maintenance than you do for project. Not every person's going to fit into that division or area of work the same way. So just something to consider, all right? Now let's have a look at what this leveling system looks like. So coming back, if we can get this right, we've got our position description. We've got the responsibilities. Just to recap on this lesson that we've already done, I'll send it through again for you guys and the actual Canva template that you can fill out. But we've got our position description. We've got our responsibilities that we have thought about and we have gone, this is who I need in this role and it's going to have this impact. This is the key result. This is what they need to do, the objective, and this is the key result we'll get from that. And I need these sort of competencies in a person to be able to achieve that. We're able to hire that person. Then we want to be able to monitor performance. So what does performance look like? And this is what we're getting to now. So if you didn't see a session, let me just run quickly over it again. You'll be used to the ascension model or the leveling system based on apprenticeships, right? First year, after 1 year, you get a pay rise and you become a second year. And after the second year, you become third year and you get a pay rise. Who's seen that before? Just seeing who's listening, because everyone would have seen that, right? We're all tradies, aren't we? All right, so there's the apprenticeships leveling system, and it's on tenure, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. So what we cover in this is if your apprentice can demonstrate they're a 4th year by you getting really clear on what does a first year look like, Here's the behaviors. Here's the actions. This is what you do as a first year. Here's what you do as a second year. This is what you should be able to do a third year in terms of competencies, right? And the attitude and the way you work and all of the things that matter to you and your company. Then if they're performing at a fourth year, at a first year, as a first year or a second year, who'd be willing to pay them a fourth year if they were working at that rate? Yeah? Everyone. And that's a great thing, because if they're a second year and they're working at a fourth year and you're paying them a fourth year, they're pretty much doing the work of a fourth year for 3 years for you. That's great at a fourth year rate. That's a good thing, because they're helping out a lot. And they can start to demonstrate, hey, if you can start demonstrating to me that you can work your way through these because they're doing so well here, and you give them the tradesperson leveling system, there's obviously some things they won't be able to do, like working unlicensed or whatever, but some of these other things that if they can demonstrate and tick these off, when you become a tradesperson after you finish your fourth year, you'll go straight into a level 3 tradesperson rate.
Hey, Greg, can you please zoom in the tiniest bit?
Yeah. I'll be sharing this with you all again as well.
Thank you.
But you can sort of see.
Yeah, that's good.
You can see that each of these things is just a level up from the last. So let's go through the leveling system. Oh, no, back here 1 sec. So with the tradesperson ascension model, a level 1 is, hey, this is the very bottom standard I expect at this company. And I'm not saying this is the bottom level at any tradesperson anywhere, because you guys have a higher standard than that, right? Your company wants the best. So you start at a level 1, and here's what I expect. Do your job notes on site. Do them well. Just basic stuff. Do high quality workmanship. We don't want callbacks. All of these things. So level 1, here's what you're going to get. As a level 2, we're going to have more responsibilities, but it means that less ops, time goes into it. You're not following people up because they're making mistakes. You're not getting them sent back to a callback and things like that. And so we want them to push to a level 4, but we've got to give them the game plan. Here's the challenge list. Tradies love task lists, don't we? We love them. So do your staff. They love to be able to tick stuff off and prove themselves worthy of God mode. Do you like my titling? God mode is level 4. All right, cool. So once we get to here, if you can demonstrate, here's the pathway for you. If you're a level 3, well, you're demonstrating some high level responsibilities right now, and you could become a team trainer for us. What does that mean? Well, you as the business owner no longer has to go out with the tradesperson to train them. You've got someone whose responsibility and their role is a team trainer, and you pay them extra when they're training staff members. And so you've also got a tech support expert who loves getting calls from their staff all the time with technical questions. Show of hands. Oh, there's a thumb down, but no hands went up. So we can actually get staff to do that. Hey, here's our tech support leader, expert. Guys, if you've got any questions, he's demonstrated to me that he's the technical wizard of our team. So everyone call him with tech support. Who would like that? All right. You would all like that. That's good. Site supervisor, level 3. Level 4, ops manager. So they've demonstrated they're already doing everything an ops manager would do at a high level. And this is the one we're breeding for potentially a promotion within your company to take over this ops management role. Now, who here can see by having something like this, sitting down with your staff members, it's going to be a great conversation around coaching them to the top? Show of hands. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Right? And you can sort of see, right? You can say, where would you like to be in the future? And if someone says, man, I'd love to be the tech support wizard. I just realized my phone went flat. I've seen it. I lost my camera, so I'm frozen in this epic pose. Can you guys see it?
Oh, we can definitely see. You look really excited, which is great though.
And that is what happens when you don't charge your phone. I'm just going to leave it like that for a bit because we're on the screen while it charges up. So once we have this and your staff member goes, hey, I'd love to be the technical support expert of the team, and you can see that in them, Now it's a matter of, or let's get you there. At the moment, I can see, what level would you think you're at? Well, yeah, I'm sort of at this level 1 at the moment. I'm level 2 or whatever they reckon. It's like, all right, cool. Let's get you to level 3, and we'll work together on that. How's that sound? Who likes the sound of this process over learning by mistake and hoping for the best? Yep, cool. All right, so that's an example. This is only an example. Every company is different, and you want to build one for your own company. I want you to think long term, even if it's just you and 2 tradies at the moment. I want you to think, what is my business going to look like in the future? And there's nothing wrong with having 4 tradespeople, and one of them's a team trainer, one's a tech support expert, and one's a site supervisor, or ops manager in training. Because as long as you're moving upwards, right? We're growing into it. We're creating capacity for you as the business owner to be able to scale the business faster. But if you're being pulled down by all the responsibilities you have, that's slowing everything down. So we've got to look after you first. Okay, just another example. Let's go through this checklist to give you an example of how we use it to the max. So we obviously went through the productivity one just before. The next one, materials. So you're using and tracking materials in a cost-effective way. Materials, again, you manage stock, ensuring the materials are always available for you and the team. So instead of just using materials, which is the base level, you got to use it. You're not wasting materials. You're not doing. You're managing it. You're not going to the wholesaler 3 times every day, which we went through for a fucking long time as well. Just making sure that they're using the right materials in a cost-effective way. The next one is they're managing stock at a really good way. This next one is they're quoting effectively for materials, ensuring the right profitability for the job. So you're not over-ordering or under-ordering. And the final one is ensuring the team has the required materials, leading by example and sharing material wins. So really giving back to the team and broadcasting how to do it in God mode, effectively, so everyone else feels inspired to do better. Job notes. Completes the job notes before leaving site with the correct format. This is the last one I'm going to do. Next one. Completes detailed jobs with quote notes and photos with the times next to the description of each line item. So we can actually see the labor efficiency of each of the items. Cool. And then job notes. Completes the job notes and quotes in the required format to direct copy paste every job. And the final one is invoices and quotes their own jobs at 100% labor efficiency for their total monthly average. Right? So that's an example of where they've taken an operations management responsibility completely off of the ops manager, allowing for more scalability in that role. Because we got to a point where we couldn't actually get any more invoices and quotes done in the day. So we had to think differently. And it's like, what if we trained our team to be able to do quotes and invoices themselves, and when up to a certain limit? And when we taught them how to do that, it took a lot of that responsibility of the volume of quotes and invoices off of the ops manager, and they could focus more on higher level responsibilities like performance management and overseeing an efficient schedule and things like that. Cool. In terms of paying the staff, so the way, Rory, do you want to speak how we do it at Response? So we don't actually give them an hourly rate pay rise, is built-in allowances. Do you want to quickly speak to that?
Yeah, so the way we work it out is everyone's on a base rate. So we use, for clean numbers, $40 an hour as an example. And then your levels 1, 2 to 4 will all have a productivity rate attached to it. So level 1 might be plus $1 an hour, level 2 might be plus 2, up to level 4 being plus 5. And how that works is, so all your leave entitlements, so annual leave, sick leave, RDOs, they all get paid at the base rate, so the $40 an hour. So to earn your level productivity rate, you have to show up to work. So it's an added incentive for, if someone's on the edge on a Monday going, just had a big night, I've got a few bills coming up. I better go into work because I'm going to get the extra $5 an hour, which will, cover 50% of that bill. It's just that added incentive. And then obviously, as your team grows bigger, you'll see that saving more and more with the base rate on the annual leave and all the leave entitlements. So you can also add on to that some training and license incentives. So like, let's say we have a CDC accredited installer, how we've got it, if they go out and get it on their own, they will then get an extra +2 to the productivity allowance, or a security installer might just be a +1, and you can add those kind of skills to kind of incentivize them to go out and do their own training, pay for their own courses. So there's some other ways to do it.
And it all starts with having a conversation. It's like, where would you like to go in our company, right? It's the same as us with growing our businesses right here in this community. It's like, where are we taking your business? Let's look at what it looks like, operational time freedom looks like. And then after that, there's more to go. But once we achieve that operational time freedom, how's that going to help you live your best life? Same with them. We have that conversation with our team, and we can help them achieve like fulfillment and freedom within your company. And that's something we're really pushing for at Responses moment, is create this freedom model within the company, so that the team members feel like they've got this level of freedom, this community within the company, that they will never want to leave, because it makes more sense to be a part of the team than to go and try and do it themselves. You've already got the team. So we want to try and create this environment that people love to come to work. They love it. All right, cool. Thanks, Rory. Hey, so before we do this, jump into the next bit, let's do some brainstorming. So instead of dollars, extra $1, extra $2, extra $4, extra $5, that could just convert into other things. It doesn't have to be money. It could be gym membership. It could be, see how people are putting these things up for free. What if you had to earn it? And I think this is a really important part of your position description and your leveling system, is like the challenge that comes along with getting up to that next level. Who here is driven by challenge? Who likes a challenge? Who gets bored if there's no challenge? Yeah, if there's no challenge, it's boring. Like if you get all the prizes at the start, it's like, I don't need to try. I've already got the medal. They just gave me a medal. Actually, a quick segue, funny story. I went to the Rottnest Channel swim at the finish line. So I drove a boat to the finish line. And we were just there on the day, and my family was there, and anyway, had a few beers and whatever, and decided to run and jump off, get in my Speedos because I had them in my bag, put my goggles on, run and jump off the end of the jetty and swam through the finish line, and got out and pretended I swam the whole way and went through and got a medal. And yeah, it was pretty dodgy, but it was funny. It was funny. It was a funny thing. But I didn't have any achievement. I didn't actually swim the race. So it was pretty empty. So my point is, we want to create a challenge in your team. We want this to be exciting and challenging. And maybe our job ads need to be more of a challenge rather than, hey, you get everything here. Maybe the right people are driven by challenge, so let's give them that challenge. Let's say, here's how you level up, and they'll come and they'll want to grow better. So what's some other things? Just unmute, team. Let's quickly brainstorm our other ways that we can reward our team. Go.
I think with like just living expenses and stuff in general, maybe even something like fuel cards or gift cards for at the grocery shop, stuff like that, that actually make a difference in people's day-to-day lives, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, love it. Yep, fuel cards, shopping, what are they called? Gift cards, shopping, Woolworths cards. Help with those things. What else we got?
All vouchers.
What voucher?
Tools.
Tool vouchers, yeah. Yep. Keep them coming.
How about an extra RDO?
Yeah, time. Extra RDO, time. day off if they hit their goals.
We do like dinner vouchers or something to help boost their relationships and that sort of thing.
Dates. Nice.
Event tickets? Sports
Event
or
tickets.
music or...
Yep.
Along similar sort of line, like an experience voucher, like Red Balloon or something like that. Something
yeah.
I normally do.
I love these.
A weekend
They
away.
attach. Yeah, what was that one?
A weekend away.
Yep. Maybe a long-term goal. You know, you actually buy a trip for them. Got to look at the actual benefit of the productivity output. Like if they're actually achieving these great productivities, it's very profitable for you. And so with these experiences and with these extra gifts, instead of it just being tied in with an hourly rate, when they go and have dinner with their partner or they go and do a Red Balloon experience like skydiving or V8 race car driving or whatever those are, who do they attribute that experience to? You, right? My team, my company, my boss. So there's a tremendous benefit for doing things like this. So I love the idea of experiences with your family, with your staff, create more experiences. Cool. All right, coming back. So we've got the monitoring system. So we understand how to build that out. And we're going to dive into these conversations that we have with our team in a future session. So that's all good. Provide professional opportunities. So if they want to move into one of those higher roles here, you can say, if you can get here, you can come into, and part of Silver and Gold, guys, is when you do get to the stage where you've got your ops manager or ops manager in training, they can come back through incubator and growth systems at the academy. So there's incentive for them to demonstrate they're a level 4 for you for 6 months, because that's going to help train them to become the ops manager for you in the company. You know, so that training in itself is a 6-month journey. So as soon as you have someone that can go back through incubator, they can. So make sure that, you know, if you do have someone that's demonstrated they're level 4, get in touch with Anna and say, I've got my ops manager in training. I want to put them through the training. And in that way, you can work with them and they can start to understand this is what we need to do to grow the business together. All right. So once we've done that, evaluating performance. So we're going to have like a checklist of exactly how to perform at this. I'm going to send you this here, but you can build this out in your job form. And the way that it would work is you would have the first question saying productivity, and then maybe the reason why this is so important or the responsibility attached to that that performance metric. And then you would have 1 star would be complete quotes as required, or you might even just want to choose what's most relevant to you. I complete the quotes required at 90% job labor efficiency. And answer 2, which is the second one, is I complete the quotes required at 100% job efficiency. So they select the objective answer rather than a star system, but effectively it ends up being a star system at the end. Because you can reward next to those in the job form, you can give those a numerical value. So a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in terms of score. And at the end, you've got a total score. So you can see the total score as well. And then rewarding high performance. So this is the conversation that will be like, you've demonstrated this for 6 months. You've constantly got an average score of over whatever it takes to be a level 4. So congratulations, you've achieved it. And there's nothing stopping someone going from a level 1 to a level 4 in 6 months, except for their ability to demonstrate that they can do a level 4, responsibility. So let's just have a look at God mode here, just so you can see. So imagine a staff member like this. Productivity completes the quotes and required work at 100%, 120% job efficiency. So if you have a 20% margin on your jobs and they do it at 120%, how much extra profit are they making you? You can show me in your fingers. Show me your fingers. Double. 20% margin and they're doing it at 120%. Double the net profit. Double. That's right. It's awesome. Ensuring the team ensuring the team has the required materials, leading by example and sharing material wins. Job notes, invoices and quotes their own jobs at over 120% labor efficiency on average for the whole month. Workmanship ensures 100% customer satisfaction on all installs before leaving site with no callbacks. Who would like that one? Ooh, everyone's cheering. Communication. Proactively communicates with the team to ensure seamless business operations. Safety, implementing safe work improvements to maintain zero near misses, safety incidents, and loss of time industry. Who wants a God mode level staff member? And we can all work towards it. Everyone can be a God. We just need to help them work towards that. And, I think with these things in place, when we have this roadmap and we understand, it starts, just to recap, starts with understanding having the position description, right? Clearly, this is the objectives that we have to do in this role. Here's the results I expect from you doing this role. And competencies. We're going to have someone come through from Performia, is another company, is going to guest speak in one of our sessions, one of our Innovation Hub sessions in the future. We've been talking to them about some other strategies to really enhance performance in team members. And one of the big things was, in the contract, you should have performance metrics. So in your actual written legal contract, have performance metrics. What that means is, if they're not performing at the required productivity levels, or they're getting too many callbacks, or they're doing unsafe work, or they've got a low customer satisfaction in the legal contract they sign, we have grounds to let them go. Who likes the idea of that? I thought that was phenomenal. I'm like, wow, that is cool. And that is legally binding and a reason to perform. It's not something to hold them against. It's just something there you've got up your sleeve if you need it. But the whole message I want to get across today is, let's coach, not manage. Let's get to a point where we're actually putting a very clear game plan in front of them, which is designed by you to get a desired outcome, and work with them to get them to hit their goals. Now, if we can tie personal outcomes, which a lot of people don't do, like, what does it mean if you have a higher hourly rate? It means you could buy that house. It means you could get that car. It means you could upgrade your tools, whatever it is that's important to them, get that motorbike you've been waiting for. So we help them move towards that goal and get them there sooner. And it becomes more of a, let's do it together sort of mentality, which took so many years to figure out for me. And so when you get that drive, your team members will just thrive. Look at that, just came up with that. You get that drive, your team members will thrive. That's fucking awesome. All right, moving on. Back to here. Once we have the monitoring system, it makes it really easy for them to self-assess, and you assess them, which gives them the outcome. Then we can see, well, what sort of professional development, how can I help you? What do I need training in to get you to that level 4? To become that ops manager, to become that team expert. Evaluating performance, back on that point there, making sure that we can have that in a really clear way for them to understand, and then recognizing that and rewarding them for their demonstration of developing the habit, which brings the results that you want, the outcomes. And that is a wrap. Love hanging out. See you guys next week. Till then.